tire balance and rotation is going to take longer than I expected, so I'm super hungry right now. Why not get started with making some food? So I gotta get the tires rotated because I put like 5K on them already, and if you don't rotate your tires, they get out of balance, they sound all wonky. So if you've ever done that before, ever driving and your tires sound like crap, it's probably because they're out of balance and you've never taken them to get rotated like you should every 5 to 7,000. 3,000 is not gonna hurt though. So I'm stuck here right now for at least another hour or two and I'm starving. So I said, screw it, I'm gonna make some food. I brought stuff with me, why not start now? For those unaware, this is a jet boil system. I like it for doing little things. It's great for freeze-dried meals if you want to add hot water to meals and eat those. The only problem is that those meals tend to be very, very filled with salt. So not to get too gross or anything, but they'll stuff you up and make it very hard for you to, have some bowel movements later. So just be careful when you do that. But I have the full camp system for the weekend. We're going to use that. Okay, perfect timing on the tire rotation, they told me. I was just off by a little bit. We were at the right time to get them done, so I'm glad I did, because I'm gonna probably put on another 300 miles, 400 miles this weekend. It's about 150 miles to Sturgeon Bay. It's 10 a.m. We're gonna hit the road, start heading up. Gotta go through Milwaukee in order to go north on the highway, and just kind of wing it from there.
For hand, as far as Hagen was concerned, they just had a time.
Just pulled into Sheboygan, Wisconsin. It is very quiet. It's a very small town. This is kind of what I was looking for. Wanted to see what there is to offer. Grab some coffee. If I can hang out and work on my computer on this video, I'm going to do that for a little bit. Just kind of taking my time this weekend to be by myself and relax and just enjoy the long weekend and also remember what Memorial Day is about. I'm sure this will probably get posted really late because I'm very behind on videos at the moment. Gonna take the time to think about this weekend and what it means, why we have an extra day off on Monday, not to take it for granted, and maybe think of my friends who have been through some stuff and the friends that they have lost. That is what this weekend is about. So I'm gonna go tour around. All right, I made it to Manitowoc. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I've been butchering every city name up here. They're quite intricate to say, let alone how they're spelled. But I'm working my way through here. It's really pretty outside right now. I don't know if you guys can really see. Really happy that the weekend, or at least today, ended up turning out really pretty. Here's Lake Michigan as I drive by. I specifically chose this route because I get to drive up the lakeside, and it kind of reminds me of California, so that's exactly why I decided to come this way. I'm not sure how much of my drive is going to be lakeside, but it is really pretty, and I figured I have the time today, I might as well enjoy the leisure drive. It's like really brown water right here, but if you look further out, I don't know if you can tell in the video itself, but it's super blue out there. It's really nice to kind of drive up and feel like you have an ocean next to you still. I don't know if I could make the full move out here to the Midwest. I'm so keen on the coastline. I talk a lot of crap about California and just how I would like to move out of the state, and I'm open to the idea, obviously, but man, letting go of like being able to just drive down to the beach on your day off it's a hard one to let go of, that idea of that. But when you have a lake this big, it's just the cold. The cold gets me. I don't know how people do it, like, at all. It blows me away that people can have a good time for 6 months out of the year and then have to shut themselves inside, sometimes longer. It's ridiculous, but at least, you got some water, and I know people that take advantage of it. I was on those Sea-Doos last weekend with a friend, so the people here in the Midwest and up north really take advantage of their summers, and I can see why, because it is sunny, but definitely still chilly today.
You'll always want me, oh, but you're sick all the time, 'cause you got I search for between
All right, so I'm trying to find a camping spot at the moment. I use this app called iOverlander, and it gives you an idea of like where you should go based on previous spots that other people have gone. And I've heard some good news about a spot that I'm headed to, so we're headed down this kind of vacant road right now to head over there. It's been 6 hours of driving, and I'm ready to go set up camp, get some food started, and call it a night. Hopefully some views of Sturgeon Bay and Lake Michigan. So let's do that.
Keep your head up, keep your heart strong. No.
All right, we've arrived. It is a dirt road pretty much, but it's quiet, it seems like. I saw another truck come through here. It looks like I'm on the other side of where I recently just had a drink before heading out here. It shows that it kind of ends right at the edge of the water. So let's see what that looks like real quick. Oh yeah, this is a spot for sure. Okay, so I was gonna camp back there, but that's way more secluded, and although I like kind of being on my own, this is a spot right here to camp and have some food. And oh, I might even try fishing. This is really awesome. It's really nice. I see someone fishing right now, so that tells me that maybe I can catch something from here. That being said, I'm gonna try getting my fishing pole ready. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and go for it. Yo, it is absolutely electric out here. It is gorgeous. Look at this day. I was expecting it to be like sub 60 degrees, and it has turned into an absolutely beautiful day. Like I said earlier, I have no idea what I'm doing, but this older couple just kind of pulled up, and I think they're about to start fishing. So I'm gonna pull up to them and ask them if they'd mind showing me what to do out here. And let's see how it goes. You guys about to start fishing?
We were gonna.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I've never fished in my life. I have some fishing gear. Could I maybe have you point me in the right direction of what the hell I'm doing?
If we do any good.
It's been like 10 years. I went with a friend once years ago, and if you could maybe just show me how to set up my line.
That'd be fine if you got a license.
Yeah, I picked it up already. I've got the file on my phone, so I'll bring my pole over in a second. Alas, I didn't catch anything. No beginner's luck here with trying to catch anything, so I'm gonna get started with some cooking. Making some gnocchi tonight, I believe, and gonna add some kielbasa to it. I got some water boiling. I'm gonna throw some gnocchi in. Then I got some pasta sauce in here.
Okay, because
Got
I would
some
always
good
keep my
tasties.
cereal box. Keeps my cereal fresh.
It's not anything spectacular, but look at this dinner that I just made. Gnocchi with red sauce and some Cajun sausage. I'm a master chef. I'm not looking forward to cleaning up afterwards because that's my least favorite chore, but I also don't want to leave a mess and attract any rodents. So I'm gonna eat up and clean up here and then watch a movie and go to bed. It's like 5 in the morning and I'm up. It's really pretty out right now. It looks like people are taking, look at this, like a boat. It looks brighter on camera than it is. The sky is like an awesome pink. So I'm glad I woke up early, but yeah, I went down for the count last night. Something about camping and going to bed as soon as it gets dark and waking up as soon as the light starts to show. So I don't really have much else planned today. I know I'm gonna head a bit more north to the point or the tip of this peninsula that I'm kind of on right now. I can't remember if I said where I was, but I'm in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, which is just northeast of Green Bay on this like peninsula that juts out from the mainland, and it's what splits Lake Michigan from Green Bay. And this Sturgeon Bay is essentially like a water highway between Lake Michigan and Green Bay, so you can cut through. You don't have to go all the way like up and around. I crashed here last night And yeah, it's a good camping spot. Pretty quiet, and I didn't notice much traffic last night. I think I heard a few cars kind of pop in and take off. I don't know if this is a spot where like teenagers come to like hang out and hook up or something, but I saw a truck leaving last night at some point, but I never saw it come in, so I know it wasn't here before I fell asleep, and it pulled up and then took off. And then there's this car parked nearby that stayed all night. Yeah, I got really cold last night. Huge difference in weather as far as what it started out as when I got here and what it was last night. It dropped to like 45. So I did my best to drink as little water as possible last night because I did not want to have to get out and pee in the middle of the night. I'm in my sleeping bag. It's rated down to 20 degrees and did a really good job. Here's my setup. For those I haven't shown, this is a full-size foam mattress with maybe 4 to 5 inches cut off the end because they were sticking out and it wouldn't have fit. I'm about 5'8" and I fit in here just fine. Right now I'm propped up a little on the headrest and the seat, but I can sleep in here with just the smallest amount of having to bend my knees. Much more comfortable than sleeping on the floor, but not as comfortable as a traditional mattress with springs and stuff in it. It's freezing out here. Although I'm from California, I have to keep telling people that, because when I tell people that I'm cold, then they're like, oh, it's not that bad. I'm like, I'm from California. They're like, oh yeah, you're right. Just a little peek. Just a little peek at how pretty it is this morning, how quiet. You can see a little bit of fog on the water over there. So as you can tell, gorgeous morning. My fingers are frozen from being outside for like the last 5 minutes trying to find my mount. I'm gonna head over to a coffee shop that doesn't open apparently for another hour and a half and just chill. Got some wild turkeys in the middle of the road. Found a little hill to drive up, and anytime you see a four-wheel drive road and you don't have too many four-wheel drive roads to go up, you go up it. Simple, very simple fact of four-wheel drive life. You see a four-wheel drive road, you gotta go on it real quick. But man, ain't that a gorgeous morning. Wow. Oh wow, it got so cold last night. There's frost on the top of my car. I guess it was a chilly night. That means it probably dropped below. It probably dropped below 40, obviously, because if things freeze at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe, then it was way colder than 40 degrees. The good news is the gas up here isn't really that much more expensive. I paid $2.79 back home in Milwaukee, and here it's $2.89. So I've seen worse price increases and variations between Corona and LA. I'll take 10 cents. That being said, the coffee shop doesn't open for another hour and 20 minutes. It's so crazy to drive through such a small town and there's no one on the road at all. Like this entire street is absolutely empty. No one's here. It's a little bit later in the day now. Since I woke up, I haven't really done much but go on my computer and edit a bunch of video from the past few weeks. I found a cool spot here in Sturgeon Bay called, I think it's Lawless or Lawl's Coffee on the corner of Madison and Oak here in Sturgeon, and they're really awesome. The people there were super cool to me. I went in pretty much right when they opened, and I've been here since 7 a.m. It's 1:15 now, so they were super cool with me though, taking up the space in the corner and working on my stuff. They didn't kick me out or push me out or anything, but I'm getting kind of hungry, so I think I'm gonna make some food surprisingly, I just opened up my lunch pail. Able to check on my food that I had in there. I had some like lunch meats and stuff, and I stuck with stuff that was already pre-cooked, so it doesn't really go as bad, or it's less likely to go bad if you use like pre-cooked meats or smoked stuff. And the ice packs were still cold, which means the meat inside was still cold. So I'm really stoked on that. So I'm gonna go make some food real quick, and then get to moving up the road. They gave me some pointers on places to check out, and it's only about an hour and a half north, so I'll probably get started driving here in a minute, but I'm gonna make some food really quick. Kind of a mess in here right now, but cook's gotta cook.
Make my fault, plan on leaving, pining for something to live for. Loving something.
All right, guys, so I'm a little bit of an idiot here. For this section of video, I tried to do a time lapse of me cooking and was successful in doing that. But if you notice here, I'm approached by a couple who was off to the side loading up their boat, and they were really nice people. They just were really interested in my car camping and cooking setup and decided to walk over and say hello. I could kind of see him out of the corner of my eye peeking over and taking a look at what it is I was doing, and I figured they might come around and say what's up. Here's just a quick peek at the food and what I was cooking, but here's the nice couple. So I just realized I was recording that interaction with that couple in a time-lapse mode, and that sucked because it was a really cool conversation. They saw my setup over here, and they came over and just wanted to see it, so that was kind of cool. They were really nice people. They're from this area, Illinois and Wisconsin, and they were really interested in seeing what I had here, so kind of gave them just a little quick walkthrough. So yeah, I always love talking points like that. I know people that aren't very outgoing. I love conversations with people. I love being able to chat with new people from different places. That's why I do this travel thing, photography, this YouTube thing. I'm sure I'll meet people off of this. I've already had a few people reach out and say that they're from the area. I don't know if that was their way of saying like I should stop by, but that was after the fact I'd already been here. But yeah, if you happen to live anywhere nearby and hear, and I mentioned that I'm going somewhere or doing something, like please reach out. I'm always down to meet friends and meet people and do cool stuff. I'd love for you guys to like show me like a nearby trail or something like that. My rig isn't really built for like crazy off-road stuff. For me, the way I've stated it to people, this is a long distance road trip vehicle with slight off-road capability. Yeah, I really enjoy meeting you guys, so I hope to meet some more in the future. By the way, this lunch is super bomb. Mashed potatoes were a good idea. Been driving around for a little bit. Finally made it to the tip of the point of Wisconsin that it was on, and wasn't gonna pay $30 to go to that island to sleep there, because then I think it's another $30 back. So I've spent enough money on food and whatnot that I'm trying to keep my expenses low. But I passed this cool little spot that looks like a German style restaurant, and I've never really eaten at one like that before. And considering I've also never been to Germany, it looked really authentic and had really great reviews. So I'm stopping by here to grab a bite to eat really quick. Very quickly found out I did not want to camp in the area because there were a ridiculous amount of mosquitoes. This was the spot last night. It's actually a large parking garage. This seemed really quiet last night with the exception of people hanging out and drinking at this bar across the street, but no one really bothered me at all, and I was quiet enough. And yeah, so it was really nice. I'm in Sturgeon Bay again. I'm debating going to grab coffee and hang out at that spot before I make my way home today. So we'll see what the morning entails. Yeah, after spending the last 2 days by myself, I've definitely been asking myself if I could do this for a slightly longer period of time. And I honestly think I could. I mean, if I had some sort of income. I spent a lot of time by myself for the last few days, right? And it's just driving, whether it's just driving or like stopping at a place to grab coffee or whatever. You might think the loneliness would get to you. And it can at times, I'm sure. I haven't really been by myself that much lately because I've been encountering so many different people. Yesterday, less so after I left the coffee shop, but it's just an interesting fact that, people wonder, can you do this long term and whatnot? And obviously there are people that can. It's just more of like a question for yourself. Could I do this long term? I think I could do this. I would have to start out, smaller, probably like a month-long trip by myself. I enjoy other people's company. Like, it would be really nice to have my girlfriend with me. But I do think ultimately I would enjoy doing this kind of stuff by myself and popping in on people that I know or people that I've kind of like met, especially in the third gen community. And I'd really like to use this as an opportunity to make friends. It's been a fun weekend for sure. I'm gonna go grab some more coffee, I think. Hang out and do a little bit more editing, but I don't think I'm gonna be at the coffee shop nearly as long as I was yesterday. I don't think I ever actually got your name.
Miles.
Miles? Nico?
Michelle.
Natal?
Michelle.
Michelle. I was like, Natal. Okay, that's Michelle and Miles. All right. Miles has a sick GTI that he's going to show me, so we're going to come out here and take a look at it. We were chatting about it yesterday, and I looked at it as I left, and I knew I had to pass back through this area. I just wasn't sure I was going to sleep here last night, but since I crashed out close by, I decided to come back to the coffee shop, and I want to see this thing, and it is very, very clean. I like it, man. Yeah, I like the valence in the rear. That's clean. Is that metal or plastic?
Plastic.
Okay.
I have to reattach it. It popped off.
I had a BR. I've had like 15 cars since I was 16 years old, and I just turned 30.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got a couple years on me.
So I owned a BRZ, and I paid like $70 for a front lip, and 3 days later, I hit debris on the freeway.
And it's gone.
It was gone. No cats? Did you remove something? Nice. Yeah, I can tell by the light.
The thing is ripped, dude. You're more than welcome to get it. We can go around the block.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go for a ride.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love the smell of uncatted pipes.
I know, dude. It's just straight.
Oh, it
fucking
smells.
unfiltered
It
exhaust.
smells so good. Raw exhaust. Oh, it's a smell you don't get too often now. The cops have gotten so much worse down in SoCal with like getting people for everything. They'll get you for something small.
I know, they're getting up here too.
And then they'll come in and they'll start like, oh, open up your woo. Oh yeah, okay. Nice.
Yeah, this thing doesn't fuck around for sure.
I miss having a fun car. Like I love my 4Runner because it's a fun little comfortable thing that I can enjoy all the time, sleep in, all that stuff. But I miss being able to like go through corners and California. Like, dude, we have some of the best like mountain roads.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. That event that I was at in April actually is in North Carolina at the tail end of the Smoky Mountains on Highway 29. So that has 381 switchbacks and 115 miles.
Is that in Tennessee or whatever?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Is that the tail of the dragon?
Yeah. That's what I
Okay.
just
Yeah.
said,
Okay. Okay.
So that
Yeah.
thing was fucking insane.
I've heard about it. I've heard it's amazing. It's very long, but it's very fun.
Yeah. It was great.
I couldn't imagine being on a road for 100+ miles. Is there like turnouts and pull-offs and stuff you can?
So it's so like the tail of the dragon itself is just like 11.5 miles.
Gotcha.
But
That's
there's
like
hundreds of miles
Gotcha.
of those.
Is that like the
switchbacks.
most windy part of it they refer to? Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I need to do that. I actually went, so I stepped foot in North Carolina,
Nice.
but I didn't actually get to go on that part. I was in Tennessee with some friends. Corner as well. I can feel it. What exhaust are you running?
This is a full CTS exhaust, so
And-
like cat back exhaust. So from like, I have a full downpipe, no cats,
Nice.
no res. I'm pretty sure.
Headers too? Do you have the original headers or do you have?
I don't know. I actually bought the car with all of the work done.
Gotcha. Cool.
So there's like a long list, and I remember a lot.
What suspension are you running?
Stock?
This is
He
stock.
had it on air before, so I don't actually know if it's like.
This feels really good for
OEM.
stock,
I
yeah.
think it might be like almost OEM.
Right.
It's a little bit higher than stock, I think, actually. So I'm like, he might have found like an OEM,
Right.
like, or an OE.
It doesn't feel
replacement.
rough. That's why I was like, I don't think this is aftermarket, but it handles well. Like when you pulled around the corner like you did, I was like, okay, that it sticks to the ground. That's one thing I love about like hot hatches. Oh, you gotta love the whistle. Yeah, I love knowing that there's like a little car culture out here. Obviously, I mean, I know that there are other people around the world that aren't from California that are in the cars, but when you think of like a super small town, you know, and you kind of stumble on something like that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I can appreciate everything. Like I said, I'm not a big Euro guy. Yeah. I've had a BMW before, but I've never really been a ginormous Euro guy. Sure. And just mainly because you hear all the jokes, people making fun of them, but
things wrong with these cars.
Yeah.
My first GTI, I had a 2007 Fahrenheit, so the orange one.
Okay.
And I just got I ate that up the ass with
really
like work that I needed to do, which is why I sold it.
Yeah, unfortunately, and then it's like I don't know what the Germans were thinking, but they don't use any of the same tools that like any of the other makers. So it's all like it's all kinds of different tools, and you're just sitting there like, oh cool, now I need to just add everything else to my toolbox. I did a toolbox tour on my YouTube a few days ago, and I spent maybe $4,000 in tools last year to like work on my own stuff, and then my brother's girlfriend has a Passat, and so I had to do some work for her, and quickly found out I didn't have any of the tools necessary, and I was like, this is why I stick to JDM. Like, thanks for the ride though. Dude, yeah, it was fun. I enjoy it. Nice car, man. Yeah, that's a fun little car.
Hey, yeah, I love it. And
oh, there you go. The Midwest has car culture, folks.